Krishna. I welcome all of you to this another episode of fond memories of Srila Gurudev. आप सभी का श्री गुरुदेव की मधुर स्मृति कार्यक्रम में एक बार फिर से स्वागत है। हम लोग जय ध्वनि के साथ इस कार्यक्रम की शुरुआत करेंगे। जय श्री गुरु गौरांग गंधर्विका गिरधारी श्री राधा विनोद बिहारी जी की जय, श्री राधा रमन जी की जय, नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत श्रीमद भक्ति वेदांत श्री नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज की जय, नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत श्रीमद भक्ति वेदांत श्री वामन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय, नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत श्रीमद भक्ति वेदांत श्री त्रिविक्रम गोस्वामी महाराज की जय, रूपानुग गुरु वर्ग की जय, वृंदावन नवदीप धाम की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्री गुरुदेव की मधुर स्मृतियों की जय, गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। Today we are very fortunate to have among us one of our very senior devotees who joined in the initial time when Gurudev started his Western preaching, our Sripad Ramesh Prabhu ji. Currently he has joined us from Colombia, South America, and he had been living in Vrindavan for a long time. I will give some more introduction about him after he does a small kirtan for all of us. So we'll start with a kirtan straight away. Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji, welcome to this program.
Dandavat Pranam.
Pranam. So you can do your kirtan first, then I'll do a small introduction and then you'll speak.
Hey Krishna hai ja, tava hai saketi, Govinda Dham, Dharma bhaveti. Hey Krishna hai ja, tava hai saketi, Govinda Dham, Dharma bhaveti. Govinda Dham, Dharma bhaveti, 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 Govinda Dham, Dharma bhaveti. Today we can remember and we can put our Srila Gurudev Thakur Maharaja welcome. All the time he teaches us how to welcome a great personality like him and the mood of Raja Prem. Govinda Dham, Dharma bhaveti, 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 Govinda Dham, Dharma bhaveti. Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe. 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 Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe. Radhe 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 Jai Sri Radhe. Radhe 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 Sri Radhe. Radhe 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 Jai Sri Radhe. Radhe 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 Sri Radhe. Om Radha 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 Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Govinda Jai Govinda Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Govinda Govinda Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai 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 Radhe 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 Govinda Radhe 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Jai Satchidananda Jai Godahari Vishnu Linga Pranadhana Narija Vihari Jai Satchidananda Jai Godahari Vishnu Linga Pranadhana Narija Vihari Jai Satchidananda Jai Godahari Nitananda Pranadhana Narija Vihari Jai Godahari Nithai Gauranga, Nithai Gauranga, Gaurahari. Nithai Gauranga, Nithai Gauranga, Nithai Gauranga, Gaurahari. Nithai Gauranga, Nithai Gauranga, Nithai Gauranga, Gaurahari. Nithai Gauranga, Nithai Gauranga, Nithai Gauranga, Gaurahari. Tera 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 Nitya-lila pravishtam Vishnupada Shaka Shushima Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Thakur Mahasaya ki jai. Nitya-lila pravishtam Vishnupada Shaka Shushima Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupad. Nitya-lila pravishtam Vishnupada Shaka Shushima Srila Bhakti Pramod Goswami Maharaj. Nitya-lila pravishtam Vishnupada Shaka Shushima Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. Nitya-lila pravishtam Vishnupada Shaka Shushima Srila Bhaktivedanta Maharaj. Nitya-lila pravishtam Vishnupada Shaka Shushima Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. Nitya-lila pravishtam Vishnupada Shaka Srila Bhakti Raksa Krishna Goswami Maharaj. Nitya-lila pravishtam Vishnupada Shaka Srila Bhakti sadhan Maharaj ki jai. Nitya-lila pravishtam Param Srila Gurudev Maharaj ki jai. Nitya-lila pravishtam Vishnupada Gora Shakti Priyajan Sachidananda Thakur Mahasaya ki jai. Nitya-lila pravishtam Vishnupada Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Bhavati Maharaj ki jai. Nitya-lila pravishtam Bhaktivedanta Acharya Srila Baladev ki jai. Param Rasikacharya Shiromati Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Mahasaya ki jai. Srila Narottam Mahasaya ki jai. Srinivasacharya ji ki jai. Samananta Prabhu ki jai. Jai Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. Srila Krishna Das Thakur Swami Prabhupad ki jai. Param Rasikacharya Srila Rupa Goswami Pad ki jai. Srila Sanatana Goswami ki jai. Srila Ranghunath Bhatta Goswami ki jai. Jai Srila Jiva Goswami Pad ki jai. Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami ki jai. Jai Srila Ranghunath Das Goswami ki jai. Majan Navadevi Thakurani ki jai. Jai Swarup Damodar Roy Ramananda Swaprasada Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai. Namacharya Brahmacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Patita Pavan Abaduttanithai ki jai. Prince Pavo Sita Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda ki jai. Jai Gaudiya Samaj ki jai. Akara Mata Raya Sri Chaitanya Mat ki jai. Vishwa Vaishnava Raya Srila ki jai. Rasikacharya Srila Thakur Mahasaya Srila Gurudev Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj ki jai. All glorious to all devotees to follow the Rupa Nuga Raganuga Sampradaya. All glories to all Vaishnava Samaj. All glories to Vrindavan Dham. All glories to Nettadam, Navadhi Dham, Kurukshetra Dham. Bhakti Devi ki jai, Tulsi Devi ki jai. Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari
Hari
Hari.
Hari Bo. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. You sang with a lot of bhav and such melodious tune. Gurudev's most dear kirtan, Govinda Damodar Madhaveti. He sang this kirtan all over the world, and people just followed him. They got mesmerized by this kirtan, which Prabhuji just sang in such a beautiful voice and also beautiful bhav. Today we are very, very fortunate to have among us Pujapad.
1 minute.
Okay, Prabhuji. Okay. Oh, you went from this side and came from this side. Anyways, so today we are very fortunate to have Pujapad Ramesh Prabhu. He has joined us from Colombia, South America. He had been living in Vrindavan for the last 2 years, and he just arrived in his country. He's a very, very senior devotee who has been practicing Bhakti Yoga for about 48 years. So we can see he joined Krishna Consciousness in 1973, long time back. Then he was initiated by Pujapad Nitla Pravishtom Vishnu Pada Stota Session Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupad when he was just 14 years of age. So you can imagine, as a teenager, 14 years, he had the privilege to be around with Pujapad Prabhupada ji and take his divine association. And after his departure, he took shelter of his divine grace, Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj, another very, very, very highly elevated devotee and Mukta Mahapurush. And in 1988, he met another Mahabhagavat divine grace, Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, and then served him for 10 years. Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, he's also very, very elevated. He is the guru of our Bhaktivedanta Siddhanti Maharaj. So he did service to him for 10 years. And then in 1988, he met his divine grace, our Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And thereafter, he has been under his shelter, and he took his association. So today we are going to hear from him. He has a long journey in Bhajan Marg. I'm sure he has a lot to say about so many Mahabhagavats. So we would like to hear how he joined at a tender age of 14, how he was attracted to Krishna consciousness, how Prabhupada ji, then Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj, and Puri Maharaj, and our Gurudev, how all these Mahabhagavats guided his life in a beautiful way to bring him where he is today. And we like to hear about all these Mahabhagavats, their special life, their special way of dealing, their transcendental environment around them, and especially our Gurudev also. And we will all like to get energized ourselves in our lives by hearing this very inspiring story. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Dandavat Pranam to you.
Welcome to you. You have very nice Gurudev's picture over your head. It looks so beautiful.
I'm very fortunate to have the opportunity to try to every day, every single moment, have memories, not only because we celebrate the centennial. And I'm so glad how devotees daily inspire to have different programs following the Anugatya, our Paramrasikacharya, the contemporary Paramrasikacharya. I went to different Sanghas, Samaj, in Braj, and also in Goromandal. When I introduced myself, when they asked me, of course I mentioned my Srila Prabhupada, but I do not so much emphasis because sometimes other Vaishnavas have some quite prejudices of external conceptions. Because sometimes relate Prabhupada with the institution. But some very mature devotees, they very, very surprised because they're thinking, I look quite young and not young. But when I mentioned the name Prabhupada, some devotees very excited, even in our Gaudiya Math or and others embraced many lines of the different worships of Radha Krishna, different paths. But when also I mentioned the name Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, I heard one Babaji said to another Babaji or another Goswami, you know Narayan Maharaj? I heard the another one say, I heard something, and he said, he is the top master, very Rasik Acharya in our Sampradaya. So I'm so happy, because some devotees have very some advanced and no sectarian mentality. So in that way, it's very important how we have to be very good representative of our Srila Gurudev. How just to put in the garland of Trinada Pishunichanata or Rivas Agisnana. So in that way, when we try to present the way how they present the Tattva Vichara, Rasa Vichara specifically, is very unique for so many others Vaishnavas, and especially his contribution. So, and recently, celebration, the centennial in Vrindavan, Tunga Vidya Didi asked me to invite other Vaishnavas. So, very prominent Vaishnavas like Bhakti Sarvasya Govinda Maharaj. I met him for a long time before he took sannyas. He took sannyas from Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, and he was his disciple of Bhakti Parampuja Srila Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj, who is like Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Prabhupada address him like you are like a co-founder of Gaudiya. And he was very close with Parang Goswami Maharaj. So, in very different ways, we see how Gaudiya Math is split in different branches, but this is sometimes looks like externally looks like something not suitable, but actually it's very great arrangement because the great leaders, they have a special mood to represent the translation of the mood of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And they have different, it's one mood actually, but we can use the word mood and how Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj was a leader in Gaudiya Math, in Chaitanya Math specifically, and also Bhakti Vilastirtha Maharaj, and others, Bhakti Kevalangaudalami Maharaj, Bhakti Rakshakshidhar Goswami Maharaj, Bhakti Dadita Madha Maharaj, Bhakti Saranga Goswami Maharaj, and also others very great contributors of Gaudiya Math, like Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, not in the administration way, but mostly also in the insight, in the specific to editing all the discourses and all the different lectures of Srila Prabhupada Bhaktivedanta Thakur. So from when I was in ISKCON, when I joined ISKCON, of course, our faith was completely in the words, and we gave the soul and our life completely to the understanding what Prabhupada gave to us, and the way how he teach us the first thing to connecting, to give us some bandagyan, to give the understanding Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and how he introduced us as the way how to practice bhakti, and he gave us the different ways to present the Rupanuga Sampradaya when he translates, summarized the Bhakti Samhita Sindhu of Prabhupada in the form of nectar of devotion, and also how he also translated the Padasamrita of Prabhupada in and present also the Sambandha Gyan and the connection when he introduced to us the first book to us was the Bhagavad Gita, because in that time was very popular, the Gita, but so many wrong translations, because all the translations were not present by the pure devotee of Krishna. So gradually we got the opportunity to get the flavors of the topmost of our Siddhanta, and also the specific vichar and rasa when he presents the Srimad Bhagavatam, and more intimate also when he presents Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita to us. So he gave to us the ABC, and also in the very heavy way in his commentaries, how we can develop our bhakti from sadhana, our sadhana from the beginning, and then bhav, and then prem, but not understanding many things what he gave, because he also, I remember in his last lessons, you can see in the video, and he said, I would like my disciples to get the Brahmin qualities. But in the second statement, when he's told to us, he said, but I would like you get high class sadhu sangha. You can be in sadhu sangha. So in that moment, not so many understood, what he wants to say. But I remember when Tamal Krishna, he was like, like the voice for all of us, because he interviewed Prabhupada, and, make questions. Also, in the last moment, he started talking like an informal way, and he said, when you have to go, you can go to Srila Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj. And also he started to mention the name of Srila Bhaktivedanta and Narayan Goswami Maharaj. So we were very distant in many ways, from Gaudiya Math and the other personalities of Gaudiya Math. So when Srila Gurudev was so present, we can see in the last moment of Srila Prabhupada, because also he called him personally to try to teach us how we can feel in the last moment of the departure of our Diksha Guru and Siksha at the time, Srila Prabhupada. So even if he presented, he's showing us, teaching us all the rituals of the of this, especially in the Samadhi. So automatically, he is like authority for us. But not so many of my God brothers understand, because sometimes they compare, oh, he is no Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, even he's senior, very senior, but he's also his Gaudiya is different, and also many excuses just to avoid and not to get the real understanding of to inject the special samskar of sadhu samskar of our great Sukriti. It's just only to understand the words of Srila Prabhupada, the inner desire of Srila Prabhupada to establish this sambandha. And when we approach Srila Maharaj, we can understand more what it means to be a devotee of Lord Krishna. So in that time, Srila Prabhupada also gives us the hint how to do service to the Vaishnava, to the devotee of the Lord, is the most higher concept of to approach the worship. One means worship. So when we approach Sridhar Maharaj, he gives us so much information about to develop our sambandha. So I'm really quoting.
Prabhuji, I have
Hello?
one request. This mainly we talk about our personal memories with these Mahabhagavats, how you met, how when you saw him first time, what happened, how he spoke to you. So all those memories so we concentrate more on that than on the philosophical aspect.
You can ask me, because this is important for me to just.
No, you can talk, but mostly we concentrate on the memories so that we get to know how they behave, how these Mahabhagavats they talk to you, they teach you. So all those things, especially with Gurudev, and then you can talk about Swami Maharaj also, how you met him, when you saw him first time, who took you there, how were you feeling, and all those things, your remembrances basically. So
I want to very good. Okay. I want to tell you we were into Srila Prabhupada, then
yes,
and by any circumstances I got some position in ISKCON, and for any
some of those things which you only know, nobody else knows about them. The interactions, your personal interactions with these Mahabhagavats, which are known they are only known to you, nobody else. So we want to know those things.
Then for any reasons, I decide not to be in position, and just because I saw so many controversies in that time, and external controversies, but actually it's like a special arrangement from Mahaprabhu to try to be involved some of the devotees and to improve more. And the only way to improve our bhakti is just to get the connection with high class Vaishnavas. So when I went to Srila Maharaj, so I heard so many beautiful things, and my faith developed, and then I understand so many concepts. I never heard what is the deep mood of Mahaprabhu, what is the main reason to come, and what is also the working, what it means Manjari, and what is the mood of Manjari, and how to perform our bhajan, what it means bhajan, and more delicate things also Prabhupada wrote, but he explained from the lips of them. And after the departure of Srila Maharaj, I was in Chaitanya Saraswat Math, And Govinda Maharaj was this Bhaktivedanta Govinda Maharaj was the successor. But I heard about Srila Narayan Maharaj, but I met him briefly, but not deeply. And one day, one sannyasi, he told me, I was living in the Chaitanya Saraswat Math. Also, I was expelled by ISKCON. And then the GBC resolution said, not allow Ramesh in any temple, ISKCON temple, because he's in relation with Sridhar Maharaj.
Which year was this, Prabhuji?
And 82, 83.
Oh, that time.
Yeah, then 84, I completely expelled. I have one problem. Prabhu, excuse me, I have one problem. I have prostate problem. And here it's very cold. Give me 2 minutes.
Okay. Sure.
Excuse me.
No
My body is very miserable.
So as you have seen what Prabhuji is saying, he is so fortunate to have association with so many Mahabhagavats. It is not ordinary to get association of so many Mahabhagavats in one lifetime. But we can see Prabhuji has been extremely lucky, or with a lot of sanskar probably, that he could associate with such high-class Vaishnavas, so many of them for such long time. So whatever he says is very important for all of us. We can get indirect association of such Mahabhagavats through him.
So this devotee, he told me, Rameshji, you want to meet a Marian Adhikari running to Uttama? And I say, of course. So very funny, I'm going to tell you this, and it's very ironic in one way, because after, when I met Gurudev, I tell him, you remember what you tell to me? And that time, I went to with him to meet Srila Gurudev. And Gurudev make questions about me. Oh, you're Swamiji disciple. And what is your service? What do you stay? And I say, I now stay in Chaitanya Saraswat Math. And Gurudev is there to tell me, why are you there? And that time Gurudev was like the advisor of ISKCON advisor. And I'm very close to some of the GBCs, especially with Tamal and Giriraj. So he said, why are you there? Why you not follow your Prabhupada Swami? Why you not follow them? And then I feel like completely, you know what to say. But it's very strange, you know, what the thing. But it's still, I keep something special feeling for him. But I went back to Chaitanya Saraswat Math. But that day, maybe some spy from Chaitanya Saraswat Math, he saw me entering Devananda Gaudiya Math. When I went there, Madhavananda, he was the secretary, the last secretary of Sridhar Maharaj, and the secretary of Srila Bhaktivedanta Govinda Maharaj. And he say to me, I need to speak with you because I received orders from, and sorry, Prabhu, but you can't stay anymore here. What? Why? I cannot give you any explanations. And my luggage already was packing. And I say, yes, you cannot be here. So I went very, very, very frustrated. And then I heard from some other devotee the reason. So I went back to ISKCON, just for renting a room there. And my faith was very devastated. But I prayed, Prabhupada, I don't know what to do. But Because in my mind was, oh, Narayan Maharaj told me this, and then and Chaitanya Saraswati told me that. And I say, no, I'm going to pray to Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur. I'm going to do samadhi to pray, to give me answers. So I went out on my way to Chaitanya Math, and then I turned like this to the outside of the ISKCON main gate to the Pushpa Samadhi. Prabhupada, I think your Gurudev going to give me the answer, because I don't want to give up this process. But it's so much trouble, so many things. But I want to be completely surrendered to your lotus feet, but not in the external way, because this external way, institutional way, create me so much confusion, because so many parties and this and that. And then when I prepared to go, I saw a rickshaw coming from like 200 meters distance. And then I saw like a beautiful shine, like I can explain, but that rickshaw, like I saw it's like a beautiful Lal Kapoor Vaishnava, but I can see the face. And immediately something pushed me there to run there. And then immediately when I approached the rickshaw will stop. And then for something coming in from me inside, say, Puri Maharaj, I never seen him before.
Oh.
But I heard from Srila Maharaj, and I saw some photos because he came. Yeah. And Srila Maharaj, Srila Maharaj said, always I want to catch my god brother. But he's coming and stay a few minutes and then go. But you don't know when appear or disappear. Exactly the same time when Srila Maharaj preparing to go, he came and he said, I have to next day. But it wasn't like an earthquake in Navadvip. And the main temple of Radha Govindaji broke the ark, in the top of the ark, like division. Mm-hmm. And Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj say, this time of separation. But you have to be ready to be in union and separation, using the slogans of Srila Maharaj. And say, it's time of separation. That means next day, Srila Maharaj left this world. So, and then Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj was very like mystical, and so many memories. Like I don't think I have time to, because the focus is Srila Gurudev memories.
We have enough time, Prabhuji. We have one more hour, more than an hour to you. Don't worry. You can speak out, yeah.
Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, immediately when I met him, and he was like this, and in very humble way, Baba, how I can serve you? Who are you? And I say, I am your servant. Immediately, I never did any service to him, but because of the beautiful teaching of Sridhar Maharaj to say to us the most prominent concept of the devotee is to understand Vaishnava das anudas. When we were in ISKCON, in the beginning we were very into serving to the Vaishnavas, but after, when the institution growing and different departments and temple commander, pujari, and this, and Sankirtan man, leader of Sankirtan. So when somebody asks you, what is your service? And I temple president. What are you doing in the temple? I am the Sankirtan man. I am the temple commander. I'm the head pujari. But when we came to Srila Maharaj, we get the opportunity. What are you doing? and in your spiritual life, and the teachings, he say, I only Sudhavakata Charararena, like Bhaktivedanta, only I want the dust of the Vaishnavas, of the special that the Sudha Vaishnavas. So that's the good samskar, Vaishnava samskar, to learn from the Shiksha Guru, to learn about Guru Tattva, Jiva Tattva, Rasa Tattva, from Srila Maharaj, and especially how to dealing in the controversial situation, how to be very respectful, even if when the Vaishnavas attack you, and especially, you know, when that create confusions, and then Guru Maharaj, Srila Maharaj, like Srila Gurudev, explain the different qualities according to Rupa Goswami, and how Raghunatha Goswami explained how to associate with with Vaishnavas, and the different qualities of Kanishta Bhakta, Madhyam Bhakta, and Uttama Bhakta. So in that way, we get this fortune to perceive, you know, and to try to not to speak maybe strong tattva siddhanta or tattva vichara, and even more higher to understand rasa vichara. But when I see him, and he was with a small boy, he was a personal servant, and he say, "Oh, you can sit here in front. Let him to sit with me." And Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj. And some happiness coming to me is strange, just to bring the association of Sudha Vaishnava, and embrace him. I hold him, and he also put his arm me like this, and the whole way to Chaitanya Mat, he doing like this to me. Like he understood what's happening in me. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, not directly. When I say I'm going to pray to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and he asked me, "Where are you going?" I'm going to Chaitanya Mat, and I have some specific problem of faith. I'm going to pray to your Guru Maharaj. Oh, I'm going there also. I'm going to pray to my Guru Maharaj. So, and then come with me, and both we pray. But actually, when I get there, I let him to pray. Only I hold his hand. I hold his hand. And when I hold his hand, you know, immediately many things coming to me, so much understanding about how Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, he sent me his very dearest Sevak, because he explained to me when the last moments of Srila Prabhupada, he crying on his feet when Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta was laid down on his bed, and he hold his divine lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada very close to his chest. And Prabhupada apparently was like in transcendental coma, no movement, nothing. And he said, "Prabhupada, don't go." He said, "Prabhupada, don't go, don't go." And he told me personally, he moved his feet and his chest. So that's the beauty and how Karuna Maji, Srimati Radhika enter into the special agents, special agent with a specific mood and give it so many answers in the heart. After that, when you hearing Harikatha from the divine lips, and you go into the Goswami's Granthas, then you can understand the mood of special in the pastimes of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, the mood of Narottam Das Thakur, the mood of Srinivasacharya, the mood of, and who follow, and Shyamananda Prabhu, who follow, the Goswamis, in a specific Rup and Sanatan. And this year I went to Ramkelly, and I feel the presence of how Gurudev described the mood of Goswamis. And also I went to Saidabad when Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur got initiation, and when he wrote all the different granthas, Manikiran, Laghu Bhagavad Khana, Madhurya Kadambini, and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu there in that place. And immediately I know God, Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur figure, and when I was there, immediately my Gurudev was there. He led me to there. For any reason, I don't know yet. But just to do more udipana, encouragement. So in the same way, when I got the association with Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, he was only a volcano eruption of complete compassion. Karuna Maji is the specific in relation. You establish one specific sambandha. And after some years to try to do some seva, and he asked me, where are you going? And I say, in Kartik, I divided 2 weeks in Navadvip and 2 weeks in Vrindavan. 2 weeks in Gauramandal and 2 weeks in Brajamandal in Kartik time. And always I try to get the association of Srila Gurudev. And in between, when I have that relation with Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, I met Gurudev for the second time in the early 90s. And then Gurudev recognized me when the last time when he said too many things, and then he started to have some problems with the GVCs in the beginning, 92, 93. This something favorable for some devotees who approach him, but the main institution no understand. Same thing like Srila Maharaj. Oh my God, repeat again the same thing. And then when I saw Gurudev in the Keshavaji Gaudiya, immediately when he saw me, he recognized me, and then he asked me to get close to him. And he embraced me and he told me, this time I don't want to leave you. I don't, you're going to stay forever with me. You can't go anywhere. And then gradually explain, I have this relation with Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj. He said, no harm, no harm. I will let you come to here and kata for me. You are now my property. And I'm saying, wow. He told me before 3 years ago, he told me something now. Why he told me? And then I say, well, I remind him. And he say, Ramesh, in that time I trust them and I try to help them, but they have another things in their own agenda. No, like focus on Sudha Bhakti. That's what he say. So, and when Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj asked me to one thing, I would like to go to Vrindavan, but I don't. The problem I don't have paisa. He said, I don't have paisa. And I said, I can bring you, no problem. And he said, no, I am very old to go by train, because recently I went by train to Jagannath Puri, and he got like pneumonia because of raining and not so much facilities. And he planning to stay in Mayapur for the whole Kartik, and more than after to stay more, because finally we found a place. Gopinath Prabhu, he found the land, and then in that time I do business, and then he asked me helping to build the temple. By his mercy, he used me to try to do service in that way. So and then he said to me about Vrindavan. So I say, no, okay, I can take you by flight. Oh, but I never been in, I never fly. I don't know how. No problem. And that time we can order the tickets from Mayapur to Calcutta, because and was handwriting tickets. So it took like 2 days to bring the tickets, and Bhakti Pramod Maharaj was maybe no believing, maybe no, but finally the tickets arrived, and he said to me, he sent me message, but I need help, and I say, okay, you can bring your servant. And that time was a very new devotee, Achyutananda Brahmachari, very few months. He dressed just recently, and he was very expert in service and do service to Srila Bhakti Prabhu. Achyutananda Prabhu now is Sripad Bhakti Vibhuta Bodhaya Maharaj.
Oh, okay.
So give me another minute.
Yes. Prabhuji has a prostate problem, as he was saying, so he has to take breaks. How nicely he was describing Pujapad Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj as a volcano of mercy, Karunamai, and how their first meeting when he came on a rickshaw, and how he was going to pray to his Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhuji joined him there, and he held his hand. And when he held his hand, he started getting so many anubhutis. To hold a Mahabhagavat's hand is not ordinary. Okay, Prabhuji.
So Achyutananda Brahmachari was very emotional, because all the family before visiting, they did parikrama before in Brajaman. But he said to me, I never been in Vrindavan. So this is a very great opportunity to do service to my Guru, and also to get darshan of Sri Vrindavan. So, and then I was I rented room in all the time. I staying in ISKCON, because that time Gopinath Gautamada actually have 2 rooms, one room for the Didis, and one room for Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, and the rest of the 4 or 5 brahmacharis in that time, Gopinath Gautamada, they sleeping in the veranda of the building, the house. The kitchen was like a very, 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 very simple kitchen with like a canopy with a sink and simple materials. No floor, the regular, soil. Anyway, so that's 93. And then he sent me a message, but in very humble way, with his handwriting. You can issue a ticket, you can find a ticket for, this is very great Vaishnava, very sincere Vaishnava. I can notice his name. And he say, he's a Bhaktivedanta Maharaj.
Who sent you this message?
Bhaktivedanta Maharaj.
Okay.
So he's asked me if he can come with us. And then Narayan Maharaj, the temple president of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then another, and then, oh my God, brother wants to come. And then Dayananda Das Babaji, Satish Prabhu, the Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur disciple. Okay, you can please. So finally, we're 15 devotees. And my pocket becomes empty. Anyway, so, and then we did parikrama, and immediately, when Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj arrived from Vrindavan next morning, I'm running everywhere to give the news. Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj is in Vrindavan. So I went to that time Tripurari Swami, Jagadguru Narasingha, the Paramadvaiti, they have their own places, and I announced them, and then I went to ISKCON to try to, and I talked to Tabat Krishna, I talked to Lokanath Swami was there, and others, and then through Mukunda Das, who's Gurudev disciple, the head Pujari, and Pundarik, my god brothers, we made the arrangement to invite Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj for the disappearance day of Srila Prabhupada. So it was very amazing success, because I brought him to ISKCON to speak, and Guru Maharaj gave them so much details about Guru Tattva and about the glorification of the Prabhupada. So I feel like quite uncomfortable, but when Guru Maharaj arrived in the main gate of Krishna Balaram, all the hall was packed with devotees from all over the world. Automatically, devotees, when they saw that amazing figure of this specific devotee, the Sudha Vaishnava, everybody stand up. So, but then he started to speak, and they running to find a seat. Some devotees they know Vaishnava Sadachar, so they found a seat same level like Srila Prabhupada. But I have some prejudice in my heart, because maybe some of them become maybe offensive to Gaudiya. Some they have but maybe they feel uncomfortable. So, but anyway, but Taman Krishna, Giriraj, and Gopal Krishna, they were very excited. So they make a line and they give dandavas to him. I'm very respectful. But then when he started to speak, after 1 hour speaking, I feel like maybe their program, we came without notice, without no, just some devotees they know, but no the rest of the GBC they don't know. They're never expecting the visit of Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj. So then I went to, he continued to speak, and then I went to Tamal Krishna and to others, and I asked, I can ask Puri Maharaj to stop, because it's many of the speakers. And Tamal Krishna said something very special. He said, we don't have the realization what he has to speak about our Guru Maharaj, our Prabhupada. And it's no difference if Prabhupada is present. No difference, it's a God brother. And special Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj is very pure. So it's a great benefit for all of us to continue to hear. So that's very beautiful. So then Guru Maharaj stayed for 1 hour and a half, continue speaking and translate by Subhak Swami. So, and then we did so next year also again we came, and then for parikrama and also visit, and we stayed in Radhakund. You mentioned Siddhanti Maharaj. And Radhakund, we stay in Radhakund, and in the place of the secretary of Srila Bhaktivedanta Srila Goswami Maharaj, he has independent movement, Badri Narayan does, and all the disciples from Venezuela, followers and disciples of Srila Sridhar, they were there in Radhakund, a very big building. So they hosting us there, hosting Bhaktivedanta Bharati Maharaj and me and Bodhaya Maharaj, and of course Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj. So I went to visit Mahanidhi Swami. When I went to visit Mahanidhi Swami, some young boys visiting him because they give advice, shiksha. So the devotees from Delhi. So after I went to buy some sabjis for cooking for Guru Maharaj, for Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj. And then I saw the boys on the street. And then I approached them and said, "Do you want to see a pure devotee, Sudha Vaishnava? Oh, but we were planning to go to Vrindavan and then go to Delhi." I tell them, don't miss this opportunity. If you want to corroborate, if you want to, you can ask Mahanidhi Swami. If you can. And then I make a parikrama, and they were there to ask Mahanidhi Swami. I said, yeah, he said, we can sing, but we can sing another day. And I tell them, no, he not visit so often Vrindavan. Is this day is the opportunity you can see. Come with me right now. It's right there. It's only 2 blocks from here. It's only 2 blocks. So afterwards, I saw them surrender to Guru Maharaj after few years after. Now it's Krishna Prabhu and Madhava Priya, Siddhanti Maharaj. So this is a great fortune for them because they're very dedicated. And they were very, very, very special dedication. Yes. And the last pastime of Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, very fortunate devotees.
So this was their first meeting with Maharaj, Bhakti Puri Maharaj, right?
Yes,
oh, that was through you.
Well, no, me. That's true.
That's great. Yeah.
The arrangement, like saying, I tried to
nice.
Mahanidhi Swami was very great helper. And also talking about the Mahanidhi Swami talked to them about Srila Gurudev, inject this idea of Srila Gurudev. So, and then afterwards something happens, and then immediately, I was, when they told to me, now you hear, and then I got the idea to try to unify the Vaishnava because I saw so many controversies. And a very good contribution of Pramod in that time was the idea to try to do the Vishwa Vaishnava Raya Sabha, the World Vaishnava Association. So I was involved to try to connect him and the Vaishnavas from Bharat and from Videshi Vaishnavas, and try to breaking, these boundaries. So that's one of the main point I'm going to speak today, how Gurudev is really the extension, the broad of the mood of to preach to all of the world, and how he continued the mission of Srila Prabhupada and to stand in the mission of Srila Prabhupada. So, and then I asked Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj finally, please, you can bless me because I hear Harikatha from Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and so many others say many things about him. And he said to me very clear, the Narayan Maharaj I know is who knows Tattva Siddhanta, and he's very expert in Rasa Vichar. Maybe many of us don't have so much deep knowledge like him.
Oh. Wow.
And he said, I bless you to go to him, and you can learn more with him compared to what, because we have boundaries of language. I cannot give you fluently the explanations, but Narayan Maharaj is very good teacher. He knows how, and he's very well known in Gaudiya Math. He's very strict, but he's very, so already have some connection with Gurudev, but with the blessing of Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, I get more full time, and Gurudev catch me, you know, and then in '95 rise the idea to bring Gurudev to the West. So I think being with I missed, you know, to Gurudev arriving in England and Holland, but I waited Gurudev, and the first spot in America was in Houston.
Yeah.
And that time was the young boy, now it's not so young, not so old, but Vishnu Prabhu, and
Yeah.
I'm very recently married with Arti. So they organized with other devotees the reception for Srila Narayan Maharaj in United States. So then he went to, after that he went to Los Angeles, and then he went to Badger, and that time Badger devotees was like not so easily surrendered to Gurudev. They have like something, he's Gaudiya Math Sannyasi, he's a sadhu, okay, we have to give some reception, you know, no like in other places of the official ISKCON, you know, they send messages, okay, he can get darshan, but not give a seat. I remember Jayapataka sent messages to the devotees in Brazil, don't give a seat to Narayan Maharaj. I tell you, I advise you, if you give a seat to Narayan Maharaj, next Mongol Arctic, next day, your temple going to be empty.
True.
He's very attractive.
Yeah.
He's Katais, but he's very special. He's a like that, you know. So don't give a seat to him. Don't let him speak one word, because he's like so much attraction from his lips. So anyway, and then Gurudev said we're going to New York. So we spent some time in the house of Jaidev. He's a old Prabhupada disciple, but no facilities. Boys and girls, we together in one room, and Gurudev in the room. It was so funny, you know. He was on the bed, and then on the bed was Jesus Christ on the head of the bed, and I talked with Gurudev. Oh, now you are a Christian now.
Where was this? Which place?
In New Jersey.
New Jersey. Okay.
And then he make a programs. We went to Tahuaco, and then Lakshmi Sringhai was the temple president. Danudar Swami was there, because it was in between ISKCON, New Jersey and Vrindavan. He was a teacher, but he was very respectful. Also, Lakshmi Sringhai was very respectful. And we did Guru Puja for Prabhupada there. And Gurudev was also very. One time, Gurudev even, you know, offered to do Guru Puja for Prabhupada, you know. So the programs and I saw how Gurudev, so compassion, so many God brothers coming. Pradyumna came, as Satyaraj came, and Don Madhava Das, he took sannyas from Srila Maharaj, and then he left. And Gurudev, in very respectful way, saying, "Oh, you are a sannyasi, you are very qualified. I know you are a scientist, but why you don't have Kanti Mala?" And in many cases, I saw how Gurudev approached and then to try to say, oh, you have, please, I come to you just to be your friend and your bosom friend and to be your helper. And I want you to remind you, how your Gurudev wants you become pure devotee and to understand all different tattvas and to understand what is the main proposal of his movement ISKCON. The movement ISKCON is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu movement. So it's a special agenda for this Kali Yuga. You cannot waste your time. So and then very, very well he make like a seduction, like a very suitable, Gurudev, very easy, blue eyes. So and then, and we planning to go to Manhattan. Finally, and Gurudev was so eager, but no place to stay. We didn't have the opportunity to work, but even to cooking, no place. So when I did business, sometimes I stay in a very fancy hotel. So I went, I spoke to the manager of the hotel because it was very expensive hotel. And I said, my guru coming from India with some monks, and you can help me, and because it's several rooms, and he was very kind, and he put down, reduced the rate, but it's still very expensive. People pay there $1,000 per night, and so then he gave me suites, special suites, and with kitchen, separate kitchen. So then Gurudev was there, and then in the morning, we're ready to go to the first place, the 26 Second. So we went there. That time was not so many devotees. Narasingha Maharaj came with his followers. And Pradyumna was there, Satyadas also came. But the group, the entourage, was Brajanath Prabhu, Navin Krishna, Madha Maharaj, Sripad Maharaj, and Sripad Brajanath Prabhu, Brinda Didi, Tunga Vidya, Sita from America, but she was living in England, and also ex-wife of Nemi Maharaj, and Bichitri, and a small Tunga Vidya also, and Udava, who was Srila Sridhar Maharaj's disciple. He came for the first time to see Gurudev. So very few. We were like maximum 20 devotees. And Gurudev, when I got the arrangement to get the key from Lochananda Prabhu, because we did Sankirtan together in Europe, and he came with me, and Dayananda Prabhu came, and so, okay, return the key, don't forget to return the key. They gave the 26th, the Master's gift, the first temple of the world, of ISKCON.
Which
and
one was
the
it?
first temple in the world. Well, the second temple, the first one, Vasudeva Gaudiya in London. So then there Gurudev entered there, and then he said, we have to do parikrama for the Vyasasana of Srila Prabhupada. And then he started to do kirtan, and he sit and start to do kirtan. And then when he started to speaking, I was very close because I got the microphone for recording. I got, recording. And I was very close. And so difficult to see what's happening with Gurudev's eyes because with glasses very big. And Gurudev started crying. And he started to say, I cannot believe how Swamiji stay here. And in this same address, I send the peda, barfi, I send mirdanga, even sometimes mirdanga broken. But you're so fortunate, he told us. You are the pioneers with him of the continue the arrangement of the pastimes of Mahaprabhu. You can imagine so fortunate you are. But when he saw the apartment, but when we stayed, and I say, oh, he was living in the back. And then I went to the back of the building, and the back was the backyard, was some apartments. So and then I went to the second floor, I knocked the door, and I asked two guys from South America, they were living there, and I asked my guru coming here because I tried to explain, maybe they don't understand, but they were very kind. Say, okay, please bring. When Gurudev came to there, I saw Gurudev very humble when he gave Dandavas to the apartment, to the place. Because he told us this is a tirtha. So on the same day, he asked Syamarani, Jadurani Syamarani, please, let's go to the park. So then Gurudev was so eager also, almost emotions. So then we were there, and he asked, what is the tree? What is the tree? Oh, and Syamarani said, no, he was sometimes in that tree, but finally he decided to be here in this tree. So he took us to that tree. So then he asked me, Ramesh, what is a photo? So I didn't have it. But Narayan Maharaj, he had a small photo. And was like in the tree was like a hole, very special. And we can fit the Prabhupada photo there. And he said to Navin Krishna, you have everything ready? So we have the giwis, the pradip, and bhati and flower. We can get it from the same park of flower. And Gurudev himself, he did the arti on the tree of Prabhupada photo. So that's the simple things, very simple things, connecting. How Gurudev was he wants to connect with the moment when Prabhupada said to him, please come with me to preach, because you are very qualified. But then, was that the right moment? Even Prabhupada needed help. And he said, nobody helped me. But Gurudev came in the right moment when the Prabhupada made the hippies happy. And afterwards, some of those hippies become again hippies. So Srila Gurudev, the task of Srila Gurudev is not only just to reconnect, because I remember when I brought Gurudev to Miami, and at that time, I tried to bring Gurudev to everyone, even to Cuba. If you can see the first poster, the first photo, Srila Gurudev tour in 96, 97, I put also the different cities, and I put also Cuba, go to Cuba, because I tried to arrange to go to Cuba, Mexico, Cuba, Caracas, Brazil, and Costa Rica. And I remember the devotee, they don't want to bring Gurudev to Costa Rica. Gurudev is so merciful with me. And Gurudev say, I don't care. I want to go, even if Ramesh and my ex-wife, they are the only two devotees there. I go there to give Harikatha to them. But when Gurudev came to Costa Rica, he was not expecting, like more than 400 devotees, almost 500 devotees in the airport. And so much very strong kirtan, leading by Urukrama. Padmanabh Maharaj.
Padmanabh Maharaj. Yeah.
And Gurudev said, oh, all of you here, but so many new faces. But the devotees, the Latin American devotees, very innocent. Then, and some devotees, they never, some Prabhupada disciples and others, senior devotees, from disciples from Hridayalanda, Jayapataka, different ISKCON devotees, and they jumping on him to embrace him. Even young ladies coming and old ladies coming and Guru embrace, and then the some nuns, Christian nuns coming also to, they saw when they touching the feet, and Gurudev, you know, supposed to be in the coming out from the airport and to go quickly to the temple. But he spent like almost like 1 hour, because when the people, in general people outside the airport, they saw the devotees do this, also the people put in line, also the police, all the police is coming in line to, and they saw how they bow down to Gurudev, and the nuns, the Christian nuns also bow down to Gurudev, and everybody come, you know, want to touch Gurudev. And Gurudev was so merciful, you know, to a very, very reaction, because in Latin America, devotees, very similar character like the Indian devotees, you know, like the Indian people, very spontaneous. So then Gurudev went, and when we arrived in the temple, we are very late, at midnight.
Oh.
So at this great place of, when Gurudev saw the altar, and so, oh, this is Gaudiya, because already we have the temple established by the inspiration of Srila Maharaj, and then Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, and we have some devotees from disciples from, and then Gurudev, when he saw the altar, he said, I can do artik. So I never seen Gurudev in the with big congregation to do artik. So he did this in Costa Rica. So afterwards, you know, so also some devotees, Brajana Prabhu, why you don't bring Gurudev to arrange to, we can go to Miami. So we came to Miami, and we came to Miami. So and then I make a posters also. I went to ISKCON temple. I don't know how I convinced that the temple president was a Kesava Swami, and he allowed me to put the poster in the restaurant. So, and that time was a young lady. She was very, very great, dedicated to ISKCON. Her name now is Madhavidasi, and the Isha Prabhu daughter. So and then I thought 1 year before we came with Syamarani to try to promote Gurudev in Miami, but we didn't get so much like warm reception, even from Isha Das, because they're very square, Prabhupada. So and then I tell Madhavi, please give this to your father, but convince him to come, and also yourself you have to come, and you can see Srila Prabhupada, you can see the extension of Srila Prabhupada. Please come. This is very good benefit for you. So then Isha brought, and Mahabodhi and all Prabhupada disciples, and the same thing, you know, Gurudev, very compassionate, very treat us, you know, like similar. But after we can understand what means Vaishnava Sadachar. But Gurudev say, before Gurudev not allow me to give him massage, because you know, you are my god brother. No, I'm not god brother.
They said you're my god brother.
I have very familiar conversation. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? I told Gurudev, are you crazy? I don't want to be in the hell. I want to be in the shadow of your lotus feet. And one day, Gurudev was very beautiful, you know. I have something typical, you know, the brother. And because some boundaries, something to go to Gurudev, and Gurudev called me, and he said, very, very, he was alone, and he said, come to me. And he embraced me and said, I'm your bosom friend. I'm your advisor. I'm your protector. I am the only way you can go to Swami Maharaj. I am the only way. I am also your father. I am your father also. So, and for my conclusion, all my relation with my gurus, my Guru Vargas, all what I learned from Prabhupada, all what I learned from Srila Maharaj, all what I learned from Srila Maharaj and other Vaishnavas is in one personality, Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. So for so many years, we tried to cooperate with him, but actually, so that's the reason when we came to Miami, and also the next year we arranged, and the devotees say, no, we don't want to go to Alachua because they don't want to respect him. Because so many puffed up Prabhupada disciples, they don't make known. Because one devotee he came to try to promote Gurudev, but I went to the house of Jalakar because of the connection of Sripad Ramesh Prabhu, who hosting Sripad Ramesh Prabhu from Germany, hosting Gurudev. And I went very late one day, and I asked, please, Narayan Maharaj coming. He's a great Sutta Vaishnava. Yes, I read about from Obed Kapoor what it means, sadhus. And I heard something. For me, it's a pleasure to host him. Oh my God, because I knocked many doors and love. No word. So, but Kripa Ram allowed me. But what through Kripa Ram, I got a connection with one lady. She was teaching the children's Jalakar's teachings, and then I went to Alachua, and I knocked the door to Jalakar also very late night, and we have very strong conversation about. And he tried to tell me who is Narayan Maharaj. I hear so many things about Narayan Maharaj, but tell me, because I see you're not interested to promote something like new sect or something. I see you, and I can perceive. So Jalakar, you're very fortunate by Srila Prabhupada. You have this perception because you can. I told you, you can get blessed just only when Srila Gurudev give the first step in this house. So then he came, and during that program, so many brothers came. Even Bhagavat Maharaj came, and he also Gurudev said, "You are very senior. Where is your Kantimala?" And I saw many of them. They forgot even the chanting the Gayatri mantra. Even they forgot the mantras. So Gurudev, and the very patient mood, again give the paper and repeat with me, and then what is the meaning of this, and this, So they did how to give the Devata mantra to all of us, the real Sambandha and the real conception of Bhakti, So Gurudev was concentrated to give the definition of Bhakti according to Rupa Goswami, and we never heard before deeply, and in Mexico, he asked to many of us, what is the definition of Bhakti? And we say pure devotion or pure devotion to devotee and many conceptions. So finally, Gurudev said, no, the real concept of Bhakti, the definition of Bhakti is not because of me, my idea. It's the definition of Rupa Goswami. And we are Rupanuga Raganuga in the line of Rupanuga Raganuga Sampradaya. So this is so much emphasis in that. Also much emphasis also, Anatita Charichira, why Mahaprabhu came. So he was so much emphasis to bring us to Brajamandal Parikrama, to enter in the mood of Braj, also in the Goramandal Parikrama. Again, 1 minute and just to finalize.
So Prabhuji was describing so nicely how Gurudev tried his best to bring everybody to Braj Mandal and Gaur Mandal Parikrama. He wanted to make everybody a Brajvasi. As Prabhuji is saying, how he was emphasized so much on the definition of pure bhakti, and also another picture in Chirat. Why did Mahaprabhu came to this world? So he was giving these deep conceptions to the disciples of Prabhupada in America and South America, and how Prabhuji was saying that these people, because of lack of association, they were not wearing kanthi mala. They even forgot their mantras. And Gurudev went and he energized everybody once again, and everybody got so much enthusiasm to do bhajan once again. Once Gurudev came back after this prachar, and I was sitting with him, I asked him, how was it, Maharaj? How was the prachar? And he said, everybody was drying up. And then when I went, everybody became so happy and they all got energized. Yes, Prabhuji, sorry. You can continue.
So this is the mission, the extension of the broadcast, Mahaprabhu mission, because ISKCON is not founded by Srila Prabhupada. ISKCON founder from Brahma, Lord Brahma. We can understand what it means, you know, to be in Krishna consciousness, not in the sectarian consciousness. So I remember one thing. Chaitanya Saraswati, remember I told you in the beginning, I have some problem when I went to visit the Devananda Gaudiya and the Chaitanya Saraswati Math not allowed me. So this is very personal, but I have to speak. But it's very, it was to glorify Gurudev personality. Maybe looks very fanatical from my stand, but we were in Modi Bhavan in Govardhan, and I give the news to Gurudev. You know, Bhakti Sundar Govinda Maharaj is here, and he said, Rameshji, how's your relation with him? And I said, for very many years not talking, but Nayananda Das Babaji, Bhakti Santa Saraswati Thakur, he brought me there because in very tricky way, I saw him very late night in Radhakund, Nayananda Das Babaji. And was at that time no electricity in many places in Radhakund. But I saw him and he recognized me, say, oh Ramesh, okay, I have to be in Govardhan, but no way to go. So we stay in the house of J. Krishna Das, disciple of Srama Maharaj, Prabhupada disciple, Bhakti Santa Saraswati disciple. Me and Nayananda Babaji we stay in very simple place. So on the next day he say, you can take me to Vrindavan? And I say, okay, I can take you to Vrindavan, but I need to find what is Narayan Maharaj in Brajamanda Parikram. I hear he's now in Barsana, but you have to come with me. Okay, but first of all, he said, you have to come with me where I have all my luggage, my clothes, my bag. Okay, I went with him, and then I went to Chaitanya Saraswati Math in Govardhan, and it was empty, and we went to the second floor. When he opened the door, I followed him. When I entered, was Govinda Maharaj with all the followers of Chaitanya Saraswati, all the sannyasi, Janardhan Maharaj, Ashram Maharaj, Akshayananda, Sagar Maharaj, all of them, they were there. Oh my God. I am Narayan Maharaj followers, actually going to. So, but they were very kind. So finally, I reestablished the relation with Govinda Maharaj. So and then time to time, I visit Govinda Maharaj, and he knows I was very, very close with Maharaj. So one day, Srila Gurudev in Govardhan, he told me, Ramesh, what is your relation? It's a very good relation. I said, okay, go and I tell him, I want to see him. I want to raise the past. I want to bow down my head to his lotus feet. He say like that. And I try one. And then they say, no, he's quite busy and not possible to come to Govardhan. And then Gurudev say, go again, say, maybe I can go there and say, he say, oh, no, not possible. Then Acharya Maharaj, the secretary of Devananda Gaudiya was there, and he said, Rameshji, go with him. Both of you try to convince him. If he cannot come here, I go there. I go there. I am so eager to no more misunderstanding and misconceptions of these things. We are one family. This is my spirit. You try to make the World Vaishnava Association. But the most important thing is not to talk in the World Vaishnava Association about politics. The World Vaishnava Association means Ishta Goshtis. So the best Ishta Goshtis is try to bring all of them to come to Brajamandal Parikrama. And Brajamandal Parikrama is the real Ishta Goshtis. Because our Ishta is Srimati Radhika. And this is the mode of Srimati Radhika. So we can, time to time, sometimes not practical because so many people, but when for any reason we can, like when Gurudev met all the GVCs, some of the GVCs and Sriji Mandir. And for so many years, he didn't see him, but they cut. So then Gurudev embraced them. Even some of them insult him. And Gurudev, no misfeeling, he's a pure devotee, you know. But not only because we're thinking, fanatically, he's a pure devotee, but practically, his character never diplomat, never kuchinati. So I went there, finally saying, no, I feel so sick. He got sick. He doesn't feel comfortable. So, and Gurudev then he told to me, Rameshji, I make so much effort from my side. I hope Srimati Radhika can see this effort. Because I want to all Vaishnavas even have different ideas, different concepts, different moods. Sometimes when we talk Tattva, and to try to define Siddhanta, sometimes it's like when Gurudev have the debate, the 5 essays, you know. And then one devotee, I don't want to mention the name, but he wrote for the newspaper the response to Hakim Lal. He's a great Pandit in Raj. And Gurudev, when he saw the letter that represent the apparently feeling, and Gurudev said, I don't want this paper to be published. And the devotee answered, so are you maybe scared of they can sue you, you know, legally or something, some accusations against you? And they say, no, for many years of my life, I hold in many court cases in my body. But I am scared of one thing, Vaishnava Parada.
Wow.
Sometimes you can debate philosophically, but you cannot take personally. Because sometimes you forgot and you respect, you pass an order of the order and the faith order. You cannot convince them. You can present, because you can be on their side. Like I saw Gurudev, he told me he was very close for some years. He left Gaudiya Math and he stayed for some time, short time, with Priyacharandas Babaji. He was his advisor. In my conversation with him, he told me, also I was very eager from Babaji's side to know who is Bhaktivedanta. In some cases, I know they don't pay attention, but in some cases, specific, Priyacharandas Babaji is very high-class Pandit and very great devotee. He accepted Bhaktivedanta Thakur Jayavadar. Because so many, they say this hypocrite. This is no real, according to the Siddhanta of Jiva Goswami. So, like now, very recently, Sundar Gopal Prabhu from Costa Rica, the British Costa Rican, he presents very in details that position of Bhaktivedanta Thakur. So exactly like Gurudev, by the mercy of Gurudev, we can see the Manovishta is injecting Bhaktivedanta Thakur, and when Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur and his Guru and his Prabhupada, our Srila Prabhupada, and how, like Durga Vidya Didi, she asked me to invite Bhakti Sarvasya Govinda Maharaj. I told before about Govinda Maharaj and Achyuta Lal Bhatta Goswami. They like him so much also because very high class Pandit. And he invite always Prenda Shastri Babaji. And Prenda Shastri Babaji, his glorification was very deep because he say building temples is a great task for our mission. Reconstruction is also higher, but more higher is to reconstruct the Siddhanta and especially the Goswami's Granthas. That's the main purpose of Narayan Maharaj. Narayan Maharaj translate many Goswami's Granthas to Hindi, and then many Indians can understand more, no sentimental way, how to worship our Srimati Radhika. More according to Rup Goswami and Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur. Because my conclusion is the pain of Bhakti Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur is Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Thakur. That's his Thakur Mahasaya. Why is Mahasaya? Who experienced to describe the glories of Srimati Radhika. So for the whole world, nobody describes so deeply. Even so many neophytes say he is a Prakrita Sahadya because talking very openly about Srimati Radhika. No, he have the process, the very high class of Videya. So when he wrote the Pinnacle of Devotion from Prahlad to Uddhava, and then to understand the glories of Brajavasis. So, and when he's played the 8 verse of Tan Nama Rupa Charitari Sukartino, so how Gurudev always, I remember when Srila Prabhupada said, you working hard and preaching and Samadhi in Vrindavan. So Gurudev also wants to inject in our hearts the mood to be in Braj, to be in Vrindavan under the guidance of Sudha Vaishnava. So this glorification in the centennial day of Gopinath Bhavan of Prenda Shastri, I see how Gurudev also, like Sridhar Maharaj says, zigzag. Sometimes in the lips of somebody who is not maybe in our apparently external line, and the internal line expressed. So the glorification that day, even so our sannyasi is not expecting so many people in Gopinath Bhavan. And we got more than 1,200 people, guests coming for the centennial. Very beautiful. And also great celebration in Delhi. But the heart of Gurudev was in Vrindavan. So other Vaishnavas out of our Sangha gives whole higher regards of Srila Gurudev. So this is the glories of Gurudev, is no limit to a specific group of the Narayan Maharaj followers. So in the beginning, it's normal, people coming from ISKCON or some from Gaudiya Math, especially for ISKCON, when hearing so much deeply understanding explanation of the Tattva Vichar according to Goswami's Granthas, how would they present? Normal, we neophytes, we compare to others. We have more knowledge than you. Your gurus is bogus. But the Guru, they try to explain why gurus fell down. The so-called gurus fell down. So Guru they try to protect the authentic line. But that means to try to, using our ego. Also, we see sometimes we compete between each other. Oh, Guru, that is very, very close to me. I can I can explain Gurudev more than others. So this competition sometimes arises. We have to erase that. We are a family. So we cannot divide it because the family. We have to respect, not criticize others. Like Gurudev in the end of his life, always talking about this. So this is the great gift. The gift, how even from the talking about the rasa which are so high, and then to give that to the neophytes, then the understanding of these specific topics, to understand what it means Uttama Bhaktis. So this is the contribution for Srila Gurudev for beside Srila Prabhupada. Okay, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is a revolutionary. But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, all the generals of Gaudiya Math, but sometimes Gaudiya Math become very sectarian. We sometimes criticize Babajis or Goswamis, and we create like discriminations, like discrimination. No any Videshi can enter into worship in any altar of Gaudiya Math. So saying like Yati Gosai said, no, you cannot be gurus, you cannot be like Rupa Kaviraj, you cannot be, women cannot speak Harikatha. But Gurudev broke this. Gurudev allowed us to do this, to end no discrimination. Because he can catch the feeling of Srila Prabhupada. When Srila Prabhupada involved with all the hippies, and then when he established the first temple, also he was in the line waiting to go to take shower. The line with all disciples, he was also in the line. And then after they understood what it means, he's the messenger, the agent of the divine Lord. So that thing, and how he gave us the opportunity, the qualification, even we don't have qualification. So Srila Gurudev also, Mukham Karate Vachanam Pangundam Yate Giri. So we can understand these things only, but we have always, I say, to put our garland of Trinada peace, Nichanata Rivasa. So we have to glorify it. Like one guru of the new gurus, in one place I want to say, but one devotee tried to glorify Srila Gurudev, but the neophyte devotees, they thinking they glorify the new Gurudev. And finally, one of them said, you're speaking about Srila Narayan Maharaj. Oh, I thought you was speaking about Srila Gurudev. So this, of course, because some devotees try to, so like Srila Maharaj say, when a guru is not really Mahabhagavat Uttama, he can be sincere to give the realizations and never to put it at the same level on the top of the higher, the higher Vaishnava. So that things we have to solve, to unify our this conversation of memories is just to try to unify with the mood of the feelings and the real glorification. So when I say Thakur Mahasaya for Srila Gurudev, because he is not ordinary in our Sampradaya, like Srila Prabhupada, not ordinary. Many others, like Bhakti Balatirtha Maharaj, he was extremely humble. He told to other devotees, I try to preach in the West, but Narayan Maharaj is very successful. Because it's not because he provoked, he created like his own idea or agenda. No, he was in the agenda of Mahaprabhu to be him, no other. But others also have the credit. Others also have the different contribution, maybe small, maybe bigger. But we have to respect also other Gaudiya Maths. We have to respect other Vaishnavas. So what I say, when I went to other Vaishnavas, when I mentioned the name Narayan Maharaj, some of them, one time I touched his feet. One time he gave me blessings. So, and you see the face. So, oh my God, I get the fortune. And so many of us we're very close and we become arrogant and to try to manipulate the Siddhanta, to try to put down others. So my humble request is to try to, these programs, create like glorification, but not only for our group, is to try to be compassionate to others. If the others, they don't have the security to get this benefit, to get this association, or to understanding the words and form of books. Like Brenda Shastri Baba say, the most high contribution, how Narayan Maharaj gave it, no bricks and stones and cement and concrete. Like Srila Gurudev himself say, if I left in the future, maybe they'll start fighting to divide the properties. That's typical institution, not the first time. So, but books, everybody can read, you know. Everybody can also reproduce them, you know, in their own language. And everybody can speak Harikatha and the representative of Gurudev, but not to be like authority, to try to be like institutional authority. I am the only representative of Srila Narayan. No, our behave, our how to follow the Anugatya, or his footsteps, how he behaved, this is the best representation. So that's what I say, when he tried time to time, many times, to try to convince Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Maharaj to erase any misunderstanding for the benefit of the others. Because the problem is the others can compare and say, and this upasana is not bona fide. This is not real in the line of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, or this is not the right, you know, this kind of things is very typical now. So more memories I can speak, but the essential of them, why Gurudev went to different places like Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada gave 14, 15 times the world tour, you know, and Gurudev more than 30 times. And Gurudev gives so much. I remember I was sitting in Delhi airport with him, and one young boy watching him, and he called him, and he saw he was not ready to be in Bhakti, you know, because the boy was from Israel, and he said, "I'm going to Nepal. I'm going to research about Buddhism." Oh my God! Gurudev start talking about Buddhism, even mentioned the contemporary writers of Buddhism. My God, how Gurudev, and the boy was so the boy was so happy to hear, and Gurudev made him crying, and then he blessing him, and happy journey in your path.
Wow.
But before he said, "I give you my card if you need any information." But then Gurudev telling him, say, happy in your spiritual journey.
Prabhuji, I want to ask you one question.
Yeah.
Who gave you this name, Ramesh?
Srila Prabhupada.
Oh, he gave you this name. Wow.
But you can see in 98 in Gita Nagari is a video when Gurudev, he said, I want to celebrate your birthday.
I want to celebrate what?
Was my birthday.
Oh, okay.
It's in video, you can see in YouTube. And there Gurudev give the definition of Ramesh.
Oh, okay.
Classic definition. Rama, Radharani, Krishna, Shyama Sundar.
Oh.
He said like that.
And one more.
Very have this name. But I say, before I say, Gurudev, but it's a very common name in India.
Yeah, it is very common, but it is not very common amongst brahmacharis and devotees. It is generally very common name, Ramesh. And one more question, Prabhuji. You said about Vishwa Vaishnav Parishad, Vishwa Rajya Sabha, right?
Vishwa Vaishnava Rajya Sabha.
So when was this started? It was during Bhaktivedanta time also, right?
Huh?
When was this organization started? Vishwendra Rajya Sabha. You started
In
this, right?
general, in the history of Vaishnava history,
Yes, yes.
or our contemporary now,
No,
our
now that
times.
in our times now.
Yeah, because Bishop Jiv Goswami he established,
Yeah.
Bhaktivinoda could try to establish, and not many understood, his mentality.
Mhm.
And we start in 92, 93.
Yes. And what is the position now? Is it still on? People are.
Yeah, still on because Vishnu Maharaj Bhakti, which are Vishnu Maharaj, originally have very good ideas.
Mhm.
But sometimes when it's not injected by, but in 1993, 94,
Mhm.
93, 94, I forgot, was a big meeting, and we convinced the Radha Govindaji Goswamis to make the celebration there. So then Gurudev came. I went to Mathura, I came to bring Gurudev by car. And there was the president of Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, and there Bhakti Baba Puri Maharaj was there. Akinchana Maharaj, Puja Patsila Akinchana Maharaj, disciple of Bhakti Goswami, Bhakti Saranga Goswami Maharaj was there. And others, Bhaktivedanta Abadut Maharaj was there, disciple of Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur. Who else? Of course, Nayananda Das Babaji, and different Bhakti Balatikta Maharaj was there. And so the idea was to try, my original idea is to try to make unify the Samaj of all Vaishnavas in Vrindavan. But was very complicated because it's all the structures is difficult, to go to Sri Sampradaya, Vishnu Sampradaya, Nimbar Sampradaya, Pallava Sampradaya, this kind. But then we realized, even in Oliamat, we are not unified. We try even ISKCON and Gaudiya, so many misconceptions, misunderstandings. So we need to working on that. Yeah, but Gurudev have another this idea, but when he saw like there's some structures about something external to Gurudev say, and Gurudev was more subjective. When he say Vishwa Vaishnava Raya Sadha is when we glorify every pastimes, every single pastimes, and every single day in Kartik Mass. And then the Harikatha automatically solve all the misunderstanding of the devotee. When Uttamadhikari is the planet, is and the others unified, it's more easy to work on that.
Yes.
If the others doesn't work, and they don't understand who is the Mahabhagavad, and they have external misconceptions, not have the great fortune to see who is the Mahabhagavad. So I tell you something. I get, not because of me, who recognize who is Narayan, because of Srila Prabhupada, Srila Maharaj, and Srila Narayan, Srila Bhakti Pramod. Because of them, I now make any difference. No boundaries about, like many of my God brothers relate with Gurudev, also they have this realization. So the Gurudev inherent so beautiful, unique teachings for the new generations.
Yes.
And new gurus maybe they can sometimes imitate Gurudev, but sometimes they have sincere. But sometimes not have the power to know leader to unify with love and affection, like Gurudev words, love and affection. So if we don't have the leader, we have to make the leadership to represent that. Have to relate with others. When we invite other Vaishnavas from different celebrations, and we get invitations from another celebration, that recently, when like last week, like 10 days ago, I went to the celebration of Bhaktivedanta Thakur and Bhakti began Bharati Maharaj and Haridas Thakur and Vinod Bani Godemat by this beautiful Vaishnava like Narayan Krishna Brahmachari. It's a so beautiful Vaishnava. He is not from our line, but he respects so much Gurudev, so much high regards, who understand the process, who understand how is Gaudiya Math and the fact, automatically can realize how Narayan Maharaj is so important messenger in the specific department of Swarup Shakti of Srimad Bhagavatam. So it sounds very fanatical from many of others, when they don't have the taste, or not have the taste. But we have to be very compassionate to try to sharing this and the very, very beautiful mood, like Gurudev did. Any another question?
No, Prabhuji, that's it. And it was really nice hearing you. You have so much wealth of knowledge and you know so many people. I might call you and get in touch with you again to invite more people who can speak about Gurudev, senior devotees, because you know so many of them. I think you have been in each and every Sangha.
You can invite devotees who are not in our Sangha.
Yes.
Who have very high appreciation of.
Yeah, I will get in touch with you. I will ask some numbers from you.
What?
I will ask you. I will get in touch with you for this to invite senior devotees who may not be in our Sangha also. So I will call you for that. And thank you, Prabhuji, very much. I will just say a few points which you told, which really touched my heart. You started with garland of Tranadapi Sunichen. It is the essence of Vaishnava philosophy, that without this nothing will move. And also in the end,
this is our process to Siddha Pranali. This is the process to understand our Siddha Swarup.
Yes. So this is our actually Mahavakya, garland of Tranadapi Sunichen. Then you talked about Pujapad Bhakti Sridhar Maharaj, how you heard new concepts from him, which you never heard in ISKCON, like why Mahaprabhu came, Manjari, Bhajan, all these terms you were introduced to you by Pujapad Sridhar Maharaj. And then you talked about how you were going to pray at the Samadhi of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati.
Srila Sridhar Maharaj, very specific moment for us, and corroborate more in detail by Srila Gurudev, but very specific moment, because he was very extroverted. He's very introverted. So he never left Chaitanya Saraswati out, even from his room to the temple. Yes. He never, only once or twice a year he came down. Yeah. So he was like a Manjari who very expertly wrote poetry, Manjari Bhav in English.
Yes, yes. He was both very philosophical as well as very poetic. The writings is amazing. Yeah, very rasik. And the way he wrote our morning we sing every day for Prabhupada. So beautiful.
Yeah, how he established Sankirtan,
Yes, with a lot of ornamental language, the rhyming of words, and so beautifully wrote. And yes, so you were very, very lucky, I would say, to be in touch with such high Vaishnavas. And then you went to pray at the Samadhi of Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur, and then how you met Puri Maharaj in a very, very mystical way on a rickshaw, and how he took you to, he said, I am also going to pray, and then you held his hand and you had so many realizations. It's just wonderful that you met all Mahabhagavats, all of them, in one by one, and I mean it's very rare for one person to meet so many of them in his lifetime and follow them. So you met so many of them.
You know why? Because I am so fallen. I am so coming from this pray. I am born in Costa Rica, very unknown, very far from distance from our birth, and very unqualified in many ways.
Yes,
And
but when you have blessings of higher authority, then you could be any far, but still you will get the sung. And this, your life itself shows this fact that you could be living anywhere, but if you have it in your heart, it will take you to where it is required to be taken, and you will get the association of very, very high devotees like you got. And 2 years you stayed now in Vrindavan recently. So you are always
I
getting
have my kutia for 25 years, 26 years.
in
But
Vrindavan.
finally, in the last 4 years, something coming from Gurudev to say, no move. Now I am here for a specific emergency. Only for, and now it's first, in 2 weeks, I go back. I go back.
Okay.
So I came for very short time after a long
So
time.
let me know when you're back. I would like to come and meet you also in Vrindavan. It will be nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, also very grateful for my my god sister Syamarani. We got so much adventures to come to colonize. The mood of Srila Gurudev in the beginning, traveling to Spain, Central America, Colombia, in teams in the United States to try to open the doors for Gurudev. And Syamarani and me were very close in that way. We have very good. And Brajanath Prabhu, I love him so much. And his mood now is, and Brinda Didi, and others, Sajjan Maharaj, so extremely humble, Vaishnava, and others, we can, it was awesome. I cannot reject Madhav Maharaj, so beautiful, and close with Gurudev for so many years, and Sridhar Maharaj and Banu Maharaj, he made his effort to go here and there. If I can see externally, I can commit Vaishnava Parada. If I go in the mood of Gurudev, I can see the high qualities, like the bees, So, and then Premananda ji, how so much effort, and he gives shelter from people from all over, not only Indians, also from Svideshis, and he allowed these devotees to do worship, in the altars, like the mood of Srila Gurudev, the mood of Srila Prabhupada, no distinctions, no. So many, we can see these qualities and put together. So this centennial, we have to make the last sport to make a big Naga Sankirtan, maybe at least together. Otherwise, we can allow everyone in their own place to glorify Gurudev. But better if we are two together, and together make like a big, especially if the Indian government open the door for two.
I think it is going to be open in good time when Gurudev's next Tithi will come. So before that, we will have these programs, as you're saying, together, Sankirtan. And Maharaji, Prabhuji, some Nandarani Dasi is asking, what is the name of the YouTube channel where you can hear your name's explanation by Gurudev? Where you can find the video?
It's in
PureBhakti.tv.
Gita Nagari Ramesh Prabhu. I don't know who. I don't know if Isha Das make, because I recording so many in the beginning, so many memories of Srila Gurudev. I was the filmer, and also Ananta Prabhu now is Tapasi Maharaj. Also, he did some recordings, and another devotee, I forgot his name. I think his name is Satyaraj also. I forgot his name. So this in YouTube is Gita Nagari Ramesh Prabhu.
Gita Nagari Ramesh Prabhu. So yes, you can find it there.
Gita Nagari, or Srila Gurudev and Gita Nagari, I forgot.
Okay.
And this is a long explanation Gurudev gives of the.
And Prabhuji, you described Puri Maharaj as volcano of mercy, Karuna Mai. And the best part you described was when Gurudev gave you a hug. And he said, this time I don't want to leave you. You are now my property. That is so sweet. And you said, I'm meeting Puri Maharaj and listening from him. He said, no harm. You can listen, but now you're my property. And then
I told you, I'm very fallen and Govardhan, when Gurudev wake from his pastimes inside. Also, Siddhanti Maharaj was there and Sundar Gopal when he started to talk to them. So, and I think when he told to me, is to told to every one of you, not only me, but he gives something specific talks, and I keep it in my heart because this is This is my what he said. But I don't want to make publicity of advertise me myself, But this is the mercy of to still to. And after Gurudev left, something coming to me. I spoke with Sajja Maharaj, like more understanding about what he said. Even when he was present physically, I feel Gurudev more close now.
Yes, I think everybody feels this thing now, and everybody has more understanding. Gurudev himself used to say, you will not understand your Guru when he's there present on the planet. When he goes, then you will realize something. He used to say like that. And we can understand little bit meaning of what he was saying that time. Yeah, that's true.
We're very fortunate to have the Rasikacharya. When I went to many Gaudiya Maths, Babajis, Goswamis, and they say he is the Rasikacharya.
And this fact that he is the Rasikacharya is verified and put stamp on by Pujapad Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj. When he told you, Narayan Maharaj is expert in Tattva Siddhanta and Ras Vichar. You can learn more from him than from me because of the language. You will not have a language barrier there. And he said, I give you blessings. So look at this Mahabhagavats, how they are never tried to catch the disciple.
This is recording. I recording that,
Oh.
Anadi Prabhu, Bhakti by Puri Goswami Maharaj. I went to Navadvip. I went to Navadvip for 2 weeks, and then I actually stayed 5 months there.
Oh.
I got sick of my prostate problem and also osteoporosis and other infections. And then I get cured, apparently, because, but so much I went to different places. Then Gurudev was present there. Gurudev was, because his katha, the very special about Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, make me like to discover this place, because not so many people going to Saidabad, to the place when he got initiation and when he got involved in rasa. Because he was a Pandit before, when he was born in Devagram, and he was very expert in Sanskrit. But he went for training for Radha Raman Chakravarti, Radha Charan Chakravarti, then Ganganaran Chakravarti before Narottam Das Thakur from Lokanath Goswami from Mahaprabhu. This line specifically is very special line, how Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur descends to us in the mood, like saying like how Rupa Goswami descends to us. So this combination is so beautiful in Gurudev. Yes. Rupa Goswami and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Very specific. That was like Syrian, and he was like the very, very, and so fanatic of Rupa Goswami, so fanatic, especially of Vishwanath Chakravarti.
Yes, true. He was very, yes, always talking about them.
He got so many influence of many other Vaishnavas because he wants for the contribution to it. I have relation with other Babas, other Vaishnavas, and Gurudev knows very well. And he say, like I went to Radhakund, and the Pandit Mahanta there say, never try to convince Ramesh, because Ramesh already sold his soul. He's Narayan Maharaj. He's Narayan Maharaj man, but he is my friend. And that mood is Narayan Maharaj. To be friends. That's the reason the Pushti Margis appoint him like the Yuga Acharya to Srila Narayan Maharaj in Ushagaon.
Yes.
He's very special. Why Ushagaon? Because it's Lalita Sakhi. And Lalita Sakhi is the commander.
Yes.
The commander of Rupa Goswami group. So and Gurudev, very special explanation for the Gaudiya Sampradaya. So the kirtans, the Giti Gucha, everything that the kirtans of is go more explanation of Bhaktivedanta Thakur, go more explanation of Bhakti, Prema Bhakti Chandrika, Srila Narottam Das Thakur. Oh, more everything. When I read other Vaishnava in the Rasa Vichar, I saw this is Gurudev. This is good to understand Gurudev mood. is only one above. Is only one Nikunya Juno Ratikali Sita Jayatili Pesania, what move was established by Srila Prabhupada, but more definition created by Srila Sridhar and the behavior of Srila Bhakti Pramod Maharaj and other Vaishnavas. But the conclusion of all more in details, the pinnacle of devotion of the Nikunya Nivriti is Raman Manjari.
Yes.
In
Nice.
connection with Vinod Manjari, in connection with Malamani Manjari, our Srila Prabhupada.
Very nice, Prabhu. So nice. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's already 10:30 now in India, late night. And a few more points I would like, which you said were very, very nice, which I really liked. Like ISKCON, he went, don't give a seat to Narayan Maharaj, don't let him speak one word, because if he starts speaking, temple will be empty by Mangal Aarti, which is very, very true. This is how attractive he was. And then this was a very touching moment when he described Srila Gurudev seeing the places of Prabhupada, and you saw her tears.
When we went with Gurudev, different parts, it was like to help him to make the tent for the circus, and we make all the and Gurudev, the main focus is only little bit kirtan and a lot of harikatha, and then a lot of kirtan, but main focus is harikatha. His presence was harikatha, and so in one city to another place, another country is like that. Only focusing harikatha. Even Gurudev was in very uncomfortable situations, staying in hotels, staying in the rooms or grihastas or ladies or everybody together, no facilities. We went to Washington to Agracia, we sleeping all and not so many rooms all together, all ladies and boys using the same toilets, bathroom, but nobody cares. Everybody cares only in the hearing, so eager to hear Harikatha. He injects in us, this udipana, this stimulation to hear from this, and always he talking the same mood, So much fortunate who were present there.
Yes.
Like you say, so much fortunate to be part of Srila Prabhupada pioneers to establish temples.
And you saw Gurudev crying when he went to the places where Prabhupada went, and you saw his tears through the specs, and he's saying, this is the place I used to send Mridanga, Peda, Kartal to this place, and how he remembered all those things, and how humble he was that he was giving Danvat Pranams to that apartment where Prabhupada once was there. So he so much respect for Srila Prabhupada in Gurudev's heart. And then he said to Shamaran, let's go to the park. Where is the tree? Put the photo there. I want to do Aarti. I know how beautiful. Prabhupada made hippies happy, and then again they became hippie. And Gurudev again made them happy after he went to West.
So, you see, some of them, they are now sannyasis.
Yes.
They preaching, they have the mood, never go out, never flying around, no needs now, wants to focus to end of their lives completely successful. Yes. Like this is the success of Srila Prabhupada, to bring Gurudev, to try to reanimate, revival. And and who are fortunate, they can catch.
Yeah.
Otherwise, need more lives.
And best thing is,
Gurudev wants to make our trip, our journey very short.
Yes.
And he was very little, right in this life, I can take you to our sadhya.
Yes. And when he hugged you, he said, I am your bosom friend, I am your protector, I am the only way you can go to Prabhupada. I am your father. So how strong these words, I am the only way you can go to Prabhupada. So there is no other way.
He allowed me to massage. But one day, I massaged, he was laid down on the floor, and sleeping on the floor there, on the bed. And I massaging him, and then I falling in his chest. I'm sleeping in his chest. And Gurudev wake me up and say, Rameshji, It's very uncomfortable position to sleep. Go sleep. And then one day when I came with Nayananda Das Babaji,
Mhm.
and I say I return back to Vrindavan because we have meetings of Divishoys now. And I said, no, Ramesh, you have to stay. But I don't have extra clothes. I don't have nothing. I don't have nothing to sleep. So it was in very big room, quite big room. Navin Krishna sleeping on the floor, and was like two beds together. He put two beds together, and would have two covers. And said, Ramesh, you sleep here. This bed is two beds together. It's very wide. So you sleep here. And he took one of his cover and said, this is for you. Well, I take this. No, but this is cold. No. It's enough for me, but you have to stay. And I arranged to Nayananda Das Babaji to stay. No worry about him. The devotees take care very nice of him. But you stay.
So nice, Prabhuji. You had such intimate relationship with Srila Gurudev.
Because he allowed me. I'm not qualified.
Yes.
He allowed me.
So it's really, really very nice that you stayed with him.
Everyone who approached Gurudev have a special. I want to hear all the different nectar from the lips of all of you, because this is the inspiration. And when I heard from other glorifications, personal memories.
Prabhuji, we've been doing this for 10 months every day. So many, around 250 people have already spoken. Every day the people are speaking so nice things about how Gurudev and how much his glories are in every part of the world, every section of society, rich, poor, black, white, people are coming and speaking so beautifully. And last few things you said about Gurudev, I'm scared of Vaishnava Prad, not argument, not court cases. This shows how important in Gurudev's heart about Vaishnava Prad, and how careful we should also be while arguing with other Vaishnavas or in any talk, that we should not be hurting any Vaishnava and doing Vaishnava Prad. And then at the end you said he came to inject the mood in our hearts to win Braj in guidance. We have to win Braj in guidance of Vaishnava, not on our own and not anywhere else. So that on that note, I think today we'll stop this program. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I offer my Dandavat Pranams to you.
We have only.
Yes, you're saying something?
Yeah, we can mix with other Vaishnavas, but we have our private. Our private, Suyata is our private. This is because the experience we have from our teacher, Special Gurudev, is very private.
Yes.
But the mood we can spread.
Yes.
But it's private. So
Anubhutis are yours, but the mood we can spread, and it is contagious. When we talk, like when we hear to you, it comes to us also. So it is very contagious, like Corona. So it will spread everywhere.
But this is more. But this is, Gurudev will give, another thing. No Corona, Karuna.
Yes, Karuna. Because of Karuna, this program started actually. Otherwise, I don't think we could have done this program for 10 months like this. Because of the Karuna of Corona, we are here today. 10 months are doing every day, remembering Srila Gurudev. And tomorrow we have another very, very happy devotee family from Seattle, Hemant and Mansi Garg. Hemant Prabhu?
Hemant Prabhu.
And Mansi Garg. Yes, so they are going to be here
everybody have some vichar, some speciality.
Yes. And they'll be speaking in Hindi tomorrow because they are Hindi speaking. So we'll again meet at 8 p.m. tomorrow. Thank you everybody so much, and my Dandavat Pranams to Pujya Ramesh Prabhuji, and also to all the devotees who are hearing. Best Kripa Sindhu Hari Hari Guru Maharaj ki Jai.